morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much for being here. We do this tour of positivity every single week. I can see we've got beautiful Anne here. Marianne. Oh, yes. Yes. And I can see there's a few others who are on silent. Talk to me. What is it that you would like to know about the Positive Prime platform? I'm here to actually guide you around it if necessary, help you make the most of it. I'm all ears. I wonder why it is that I can't hear you. There we go. Marianne. Oh, yeah.
So, I know where the menu is and so forth. How do we choose? How do we go about which one and which things we start with, or we just, it's like a menu. You just, at a buffet, you just try a few.
Here's what I would do. I would think about what is it that you would actually like to shift. And let's give an example, right? So I'm really working on something rather massive at the moment. So I might, there's Illuminate Your Magic by Brenda. There's Mastering Magic, of course, one that I created, and Magical Life Transformation by Judy. I would probably just choose something. And in this particular one, Brenda is an extraordinary lady. If I go here, you'll actually be able to see. It's an interesting story. She actually fell over 3,000 feet down a mountain while skiing, and she kind of went through a horrific time. She can walk and move and everything else like that, and she's a smart lady. And I think the truth is that because she's connected to the divine and she's tapped into the quantum field, she probably had a miraculous healing, a little like me. And I think both of us actually do believe in magic. So I would definitely personalize this session. I've uploaded a whole heap of images just recently, right? So before I watch a session, I might go and see which of the photos I've uploaded. These are my recent photos. So I'm just going to select all and now I'm going to play. I'm actually feeling pretty happy this morning. I'm pretty stressed most of the time. And I need Positive Prime. Okay, so I'm going to just mute that music for a second.
What were the other two things that you mentioned besides Brenda Jacobson, and you had it up there?
I'm going to show you how to find that, shall I? What I would say to you, though, is do me a favor and always start a session more slowly and then ease into it. So even if you wanted to watch it inside 3 minutes at maximum speed, just make sure that you start by watching a few minutes and just drop into it, right? Okay. So we'll just admit somebody else here. That's obviously me. Just recently I was away. Make sure you put in photographs of yourself that are meaningful and significant to you. Whenever you see a smile, smile back at it, right? You may as well just play the game whilst you're here and you're watching it. So up here, if you're on the dashboard, right up the top, there's actually a search bar. And if you go in and you put magic into the search bar, see how it shows Magical Life Transformation by Judy, Illuminate Your Magic by Brenda, and Mastering Magic by me, right? I will tell you there is actually also some others that I think are pretty good and we just recently did them. So I actually did an amazing program. If you haven't done it yet, it's really my take on the very famous Think and Grow Rich material, right? So I wanted to actually help people to apply what they learn from that material, Think and Grow Rich. So there is a Think and Grow Rich session. There are actually several sessions based upon the content. So let's just say you scroll down here. What I would do is I would probably just go and choose this one if you're just wanting a breakthrough, because these particular sessions are actually fantastic, really fantastic. Give me an indication of just one goal that you're working on, and I'll show you some sessions that might work. One goal.
Me or there's another person. I don't want to.
Oh, hello, Erica.
Monopolize.
That's okay, Marianne. You'll see too cute. That's our pussycat. Yeah. Make sure you upload photographs of your pets.
I have lots of those. Yeah, actually, my name is Anne. I don't know why it.
Maybe it's something in the settings of Zoom. Thanks. Okay, I will remember that. Anne. I love this session. All right, so one goal. Or Erica, write in the chat if you can, or unmute yourself if you'd like to, and let us know what is one of the goals that you're working on, and I can guide you to which session might be the very best choice for you today.
I know that you because you had told me the story about your heart, and I have very bad arthritis and osteoporosis throughout my whole body, and I've had 10 surgeries, and on November 29th I'll be getting my first knee replacement, and then in April my second.
Wow. And that is a huge step, Anne.
Yeah, and 4 of them were spine fusions, which are pretty serious, but I don't take drugs, or I'm just not that, but this, and I'm just, it's a long time till November 29th. And this really is one of the most painful things I've ever been through. It feels like there is a sharp knife sticking on the inside of my knee.
Okay, let me offer you a couple of things, right? You definitely need to be in your most magical state or place, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely watch some of these sessions, but there is also one here. Let me find it. Cellular Healing by Dina Proctor. There's another session by Dana Wild. Dina Proctor, Cellular Healing. This is actually a really beautiful session. And it was one of our originals. And so what I am going to do is I'm going to explain to you a little bit about the science of positive priming and pain. So bear with me, because I really want you to hear this, Anne. We know for a fact, scientifically, that people who are positively primed do experience less intensity for excruciating pain. That's actually a scientific fact. There've been studies done, lots of studies done. If you negatively prime people, they feel more pain. If you positively prime people, they feel less pain. It was actually at a university in Texas that they had a whole heap of subjects plunge their hands into buckets of ice, and they positively primed them and then negatively primed them prior to doing this. And of course, the ones that had been positively primed, they could actually withstand this incredibly searing pain, this acute pain, for a lot longer. So they kept their hands in this bucket of ice for a lot longer. And these are validated scientific research studies done, with, really good ethics and control and so forth. I absolutely know that if you positively prime yourself prior to surgery and certainly after, you will help your body to find miraculous healing, right? I definitely know this because I've got a lot of clients who've been through this, like personal coaching clients, one of whom just went through a hip replacement. And you know, I'm a qualified sports therapist. I did actually study osteopathy, right? So the truth is that over the space of the last 20 years, I've seen lots of very serious injuries and helped people in their recoveries. Admittedly, I spent a very intense, shorter time, a career actually working as a therapist in clinics and spas and salons and so forth. And that was about 20 odd years ago. But what I know is that those people who have an expectation of amazing results are more likely to actually achieve them. So everything that you can do to bring yourself in alignment with this statement that says, everything does really go in my favor, and this outcome is going to be a lot better than expected. So if you attend some of our group coaching programs, you will have heard me do a prayer. I actually did one 2 days ago. So you could ask me via support if you wanted to actually watch that recording. So let's just do something here.
That was on Monday night, are you saying?
Monday night US time, correct.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you can call in your own powers. Just bear with me for a second. One of the reasons why I was being distracted. So I actually do have a Ganesha. I spend a lot of time in Bali in Indonesia, and they're a mostly Hindu society. And Ganesha is one of the entities or essences or energies that they truly revere and respect. And Ganesha is well known in their culture for removing obstacles. So I'm just going to say a little prayer for you now, and the surgery that you're going through is just perfect. Everything's perfect. You're in a perfect state going in. The doctors and the nurses, the specialists, the people who are there to care for you, they're actually also in a perfect state. Their attitude's great. They're having a great day. Everything goes exceedingly well for your surgery. Now, the other thing that I use, and I'm a little bit wild and woo-woo and weird, is I use Serafini. And you know my surname is Serafini, right? So I am well known in spiritual circles for being of the angels. That's what Serafini means, right? So there is actually a very rare crystal. It's called Serafinite or Serafinite, and it allows communication with angels if you're into crystal healing. And when I first started surrounding myself with people who believe in quantum physics and the law of attraction and spirituality and so forth, this was a little far-fetched for me. Nonetheless, I've had more than enough evidence over the last couple of years that there is definitely forces much greater than us. And some people call that God. And some people actually really reject that force in their lives. Nonetheless, for whatever it's worth, I'm just going to ask you to drop right now into your heart space and imagine a beautiful golden syrupy energy just flowing through your entire body, lubricating, warming, nurturing, nourishing. This, it's almost like this gooey, gorgeous, imagine like a syrupy liquid flowing through your body. It's there to help you. It's there to soothe you and calm you. It's there to heal you. And I want you to say to your higher self, thank you, 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 thank you for helping me to be in the most perfect state, the best ever, for miraculous healing. Now, I'd really just stay here for a moment and say thank you, 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 thank you. right? I think that that's a beautiful thing to do. Now, whilst we're in this energy, I'm also going to go and get you another positive prime session that might be helpful. So there is one called Holistic Bliss by Vanessa Finnegan. She's actually an amazing psychologist. There's also one by Mark Romero. Have you ever heard of Mark Romero's musical templates, frequencies that actually do cause healing? Even some people involved in NASA research have been involved in his work. But let's just show you Mark Romero's. Mark Romero's music is actually a part of this. Let me just see if I can share computer sound. Just bear with me. So here we have Mark Romero's music. And this music has been coded or encoded with healing frequencies. There are people who follow Mark Romero and swear by his magic. I think he actually does harness
is louder than you.
There we go. Here in Australia, the Native American energy. Sorry, that's me. That's me on schedule, because usually these sessions are 20 to 30 minutes. Mark Romero, I think, channels a very ancient wisdom into his work, and definitely go Google him. His music is really amazing, and people swear by it. They actually think that his music really cures him. And there's one piece of research I really want you to know about. Let me just go here to Positive Prime / happiness. Just bear with me. I'm going to go to the science area of Positive Prime, and I know this link / happiness. So let me just go down here, and I'm going to go back to view all of the elements of Positive Prime. And I'm going to go in here to the placebo effect. And the reason why is I definitely want you to have a really close listen to Dr. Alia Crum and her TED Talk if you haven't ever before, right? So let me put that into the chat for you. I have effectively understood most of the research that she refers to and figured out how to apply it inside the Positive Prime formula. And I think that what you hear, you will find amazing, really interesting. I'm fascinated in the work that Dr. Alia Crum does. And the interesting thing for me is that it's all about, there's a little bit in it that's actually about pain. And my husband had a quadruple bypass a couple of years ago, so open heart surgery. And I had watched this TED Talk before his surgery. And then I watched his TED Talk, this TED Talk after his surgery. And I'll tell you, it had completely different significance and meaning for me. And I actually heard every word differently. So you just got to trust me when I say, and make sure you watch this TED Talk. Okay. So click the link in the chat. You go to positiveprime.com / placebo-effect /. The best way to get there, though, is actually if you come to another area, but the best way to get to this area, interestingly enough, is if you have this link. It's Positive Prime / happiness. And if you actually know this particular link, positiveprime.com / happiness, you'll get to the science area, because you can read down this. Have you ever watched Sean Acor's TED Talk or what he says about Positive Prime? You have. Okay, awesome.
That's how I found you.
Oh, I remember that now. I do remember that through the Oprah Winfrey piece. That's right. So go here to return to all elements, right? At the bottom of that page. And that actually does get you to this page. And each one of these squares has a lot more information. And I clicked on placebo effect. Excuse me. Oh, sorry.
Bless you.
Thank you. So I clicked here on placebo effect. And this is, and you know, maybe you actually know this. You know that Alia Crum was in a tutorial at Harvard University and Sean Acor was her guide. Did you know that?
That she was
in one of the groups that he was supervising at Harvard.
And she was in one of his groups?
Yep. When Sean was assisting in the teaching and in the classes that Tal Ben-Shahir was running at Harvard University, she was actually a student. And Sean Acor and Dr. Alia Crum are actually quite good friends. Yeah. So there you go. I will pray for you for whatever it's worth for your surgery coming up in November. I'm excited for you. I think that knee replacements, whilst they are painful, you can and should definitely view as many positive prime sessions as you can before them. And certainly through that process and through your rehabilitation. Do you know there's actually another session I'm just thinking of? There's another session. Let me... okay. Let me find it for you. Here it is. So this woman is actually a physiotherapist. She's a real... she's really encouraging when it comes to having her clients positively prime themselves. And she does a lot of work in aged care facilities. She's based in Canada. She's a lovely lady. So retrain your brain to feel pleasure is actually a way to develop the pathways that move you away from recognizing and focusing on that pain signal. So this particular session is fantastic. I mean, one of the best things about Positive Prime for me is that there are over 100 really amazing, extraordinary human beings who've contributed content here, and they're real experts, they're specialists in their field. And so, you know, I would definitely, if I was you, go into this healing section and I would just watch every single session, right? And I would go and Google the people that, you know, you're connected to. Like, I know that you're very creative, Anne. And so this healing and creativity session by Jen's a lovely lady who lives in Switzerland. She grew up in Africa. This is a beautiful, 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 beautiful session, right? I don't know why she doesn't have her bio in here, but we'll draw Mayumi's attention to that and we'll get that updated. So thank you, Erica, for joining us. I hope that this has been useful to you. Bonnie, I can see that you've just arrived. We're just finishing. We started half an hour ago, and these Positive Prime tours are half an hour long, but you've shown up and that's fantastic. I don't want to go if there's something you really want to ask me. Do feel free to unmute yourself if you like.
I apologize for being so late.
Oh, that's sweet. You don't need to. We're all busy.
I'm running around like a wild woman today. I just wanted to, I've been on here before, and I think I just wasn't really paying attention, but I was awarded the 6 month, and I just haven't received the email or connection of what the next steps are.
Wow. Okay. So Bonnie, how were you awarded or rewarded with 6 months
I was
membership?
I was on the virtual with Elaine Sugar.
Okay.
Yeah.
I actually don't know of a 6-month opportunity. I definitely know there's a 30-day trial. And I definitely know there's a 10-day trial.
Okay.
I would need Mayumi to actually have one of her team members double check the status of your account. But presumably if you created an account, maybe you chose a trial. If you go down to settings, it should actually tell you what your plan is. And we're actually going through an upgrade over the next couple of months to improve our communication and our messages so that it's easier to understand. All of our subscriptions are either $199 a year, or if you come in through Apple, $199.99. You can pay monthly or you can pay yearly. Of course, yearly is certainly at a discount. The trial gives you access to everything. So I'm going to give you a quick example of what the trial does give you an access to. We have what we call sessions. I want you to imagine they're like summaries of programs. We have over 100 of them. We have some by, amazing New York Times bestselling authors like Sean Acor and Jack Canfield. Jack Canfield's very famous for The Success Principles and Chicken Soup for the Soul. Marcy Shimoff actually wrote Chicken Soup for the Women's Soul. She's also incredibly well known. And we've got an ever-increasing number of Positive Prime sessions being added. So you have over 100 to go through. You can watch them all. What happens when somebody is a paying subscriber, they have the ability to personalize. Personalizing literally makes everything a lot more powerful and potent in the Positive Prime world. Personalizing is essential if you want your identity to be engaged in the content. I will tell you that over here in the left-hand side, there are some free resources. So here's what I'm going to suggest to you. As you find some time, I think if you're really curious about personal development, self-improvement, positive psychology, neuroscience, making the most of your brain being in its optimal state, dealing with your mind, in a magnificent way. There are lots of very short little videos here that explain a lot about Positive Prime, like how and why it actually works. I don't know if you know this, but we have had this tool scientifically validated at the University of Technology, Sydney, which is a little bit like America's MIT. And what we were absolutely able to prove is that when you watch a Positive Prime session, you actually drop into a state of flow. So there are like tutorials that I have been doing, and I will ask Mayumi to put a link at the bottom of this particular page, the free resources page, so that you can go back and have a look. I've done a couple of really short, sharp tours of Positive Prime. We do have a getting started guide. I'm definitely going to suggest that you flick through.
Welcome. I'm Kim Serafini.
Gosh, that auto plays. Flick through this free PDF guide that actually shows you a little bit more about Positive Prime. I think that the best way for me to describe this, Bonnie, is that a lot of the people, tens of thousands of the people who are in the Positive Prime world have had some kind of experience where they've been to see a psychologist or a coach or a social worker, a therapist of some kind, and or they've got friends or family who have. And most people have an awareness of a treatment done called EMDR. And in Australia, certainly you have EMDR when you go to a psychologist. The fascinating thing about Positive Prime is we've been working with some psychologists who believe that our next step in our own clinical research is to prove that Positive Prime is an equal therapeutic clinical tool to EMDR. And that's really a very surprising and exciting and wonderful and interesting journey for us to be on. So instead of, and I would say here in Australia, most people spend somewhere between $100 and $200 to go and have an EMDR treatment for 15 minutes. And usually you need at least 10 for there to be an impact. Here with Positive Prime, you can do hundreds of those types of experiences or exercises. A Positive Prime session is not EMDR, but it's quite similar. And I believe just as impactful. And so I would suggest that you really make the most of it. And at $199, it means that basically you're paying 1/10 or 1/100th of what you might normally spend on these kinds of other therapeutic treatments or interventions. Now, the fascinating thing for me is that I don't use Positive Prime like that. I use it as a vision board, and I use it as I train teams of salespeople to go out there and be in a much better place or state of mind so that they can actually perform at their highest levels, because there's so much scientific research around the effects of positive priming on sales traders in financial services organizations. And I can actually see that you're in financial coaching. Bonnie, there's really solid science that Sean Acor and his team have done that show that when you are positively primed, you make more accurate trading decisions over time. It's a really fascinating piece of private research he was paid to do for a very big financial services firm. He also did a lot of work at, UBS, the Swiss Bank, and so forth. And I definitely think if you're in the world of, financial services, or you're in the world of helping people navigate, their stories around their finances, positive priming is an extraordinary experience. So we know by this particular piece of research that there were more profits made, like a significant amount. We also were involved. Sean did a piece of work at a huge insurance company, National Insurance. I'm sure you've heard of it. And their revenues went from just over $100 million to $300 million to $900 million over the space of 3 years by rolling out a program of positive priming. So imagine if you had 1,000 people who were, quite frankly, financial advisors and planners, and every single one of them were positively primed. That would be in the best interest of their clients. That is actually now scientific fact. So we're living in exciting times.
Yeah.
I'm about to go and present at a neuroscience conference in San Diego, our recent research results. And so I'm sure I'm going to learn a lot more about what people are starting to understand about the brain in this particular state, like the brain in the synchronization of alpha and theta in particular is really healing for the body. It's also, it optimizes the way that we tap into our own creativity, and we think and we read and we comprehend and so forth. So, Bonnie,
I appreciate you and Anne for hanging in here with me. I really do. Yeah, I am a financial mental wellness coach, actually, and I'm a certified trauma of money coach. So yeah, this is why I'm just like, I got to get into this thing.
Yeah.
And when I've used it, and it has just helped me tremendously. So thank you, Kim.
Oh, that's my pleasure. Bonnie, do you know, I'm going to draw your attention to somebody else who's here. So let me just screen share again if you can see this. I'm going to go back to the dashboard. I'm friends with a lady by the name of Karen Russo. And Karen Russo has actually done her master's in finance at Columbia. And she had a corporate job training people who were effectively salespeople in the financial services world. Anyway, she ended up writing a book about, it's called The Money Keys. She is an ordained revenue rev. Oh God, that's too funny. That's a pun. And that's a faux pas. That is hilarious. Anyway, Karen actually did this piece on financial forgiveness. So once you dive into positive prime, and here's where I'm going to, are you available to click on a link? I'm going to do Positive Prime tutorial for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's
okay. So if you can click that link, I think it's a really important page for you. This is not available for anybody outside of the Positive Prime world to navigate to. But if you go down here and you have a little read, if you haven't already watched Sean's TED Talk, that's who I was referring to, who's done this research through his company called Good Thinking. This is the research that we did because we were a part of his Oprah Winfrey Network piece. And in fact, I think I should put that photo in there. This is the recent research that we did. One of the I think places you want to go to once you've been here is probably to understand for you as a professional a little bit more about our professional work. So we actually have a whole professional program. Just go check it out. No, what do you call it? No obligation. There is a certification that we do that harnesses the positive psychology and the neuroscience for coaches. And people who've been through this program, most of it's online, and then there's actually a retreat that we do once a year. The next retreat we're actually doing in Mexico in July of next year, in the second week of July next year in Mexico. The actual dates and the venue will be announced pretty soon, but it's going to be at our Positivity Festival. So
oh, awesome. That's around my birthday.
Is it? Oh, that's wonderful. So go click on here if you want to find a little bit more about, you know, what we do and how we do it with coaches and so forth. Here's the other thing that we Positivity Club. I'm going to get in trouble because I'm going to be late for my next meeting, but so I'll be quick.
Oh, I don't want you to do that.
We are actually we are going through a complete upgrade for our Positivity Club. So we have been developing our own positivity ecosystem and positivity economy. And you can go and have a little look over here. The Positivity Club membership, right, is available only to those who are paying Positive Prime, so subscribers. You need to be a subscriber first before you can actually join the club. Okay. We need to clarify this a little bit because when you pay $300, you actually get a ticket to the Positivity Festival, and that's the festival that's in Mexico in July next year. And our certified coaches will actually be in retreat for the 2 days prior to the festival. So you might want to go and have a look at, you know, what's going on here. This also gives you tokens. And I don't know if you noticed this, but we've just launched something brand new, and it's actually tokens. So here in Positive Prime, if you paid your $199 for your annual subscription, you will be gifted 199 tokens. Over the next couple of years, you will see how we will be having people withdraw their tokens into their MetaMask wallet and then exit out in fiat currency through a decentralized exchange. So this is really a part of our future blockchain and Web3 work. So we're starting, and it takes a long time for, you know, people to generally become aware and then educate themselves and then, you know, get up to speed. But what happens inside our positivity world is that you earn fractions of tokens from viewing sessions. And we're about to actually add something in here which will help everybody to understand the earning schedule. So you earn tokens from viewing sessions. And then what's going to happen is you're going to be able to use those tokens as our internal currency to pay for coaching inside our Positive Prime marketplace.
Very nice.
So we've got a couple of hundred coaches ready to go. I'm going to be the guinea pig. And in our marketplace, people will be able to pay with tokens for my coaching. And so a token will effectively in our marketplace be worth $1. So let's just say I'm normally a lot, and I am normally a lot, but I'm going to do a special. And I'm going to do a special at 300 tokens for an appointment with me. And so in our marketplace, all of our Positive Primers will be able to use their tokens to pay for things. There'll be other products and services and all sorts of fabulousness inside our marketplace. Our marketplace is going to be officially launched in the middle of April next year. So we're scrambling to build, and everybody who's involved in this positivity club, every $300, and at the moment there's a 20-to-1 promotion. So we're just about to do a really interesting launch about this. The 20-to-1 promotion means that you actually get 5,820 tokens for $300, right? Yeah, I know. So we're going to actually do a fair bit of emails to our entire community over the next couple of weeks, because we're going to have a special event on November the 16th. It's basically a Zoom presentation. And the person I'm sharing the stage with, the virtual stage online, or the room with, is a girl by the name of Deborah Reed. And Deborah Reed is one of my friends, 30 years. You heard it here first. Shh. This is like secret and confidential and amazing. Let's go to LinkedIn for a second.
I feel like I snuck in through the back door.
Yeah, I know. Look at this. Right. So Deborah Reed is one of my great close friends, and she is the executive producer of The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, and The Bachelor in Paradise.
Yeah.
And she and I have created Positivity Entertainment, our own company, and we are producing a positivity docuseries. So that docuseries and some of the scenes are going to be filmed at our Positivity Festival in Mexico in the middle of July next year. Awesome. So the world of positivity is just about to become the most fabulous world, where we can all get together and be, you know, in this, I want you to imagine a wellness festival, and it's kind of the thing that you might want to be able to travel to in the middle of July next year. It'll be open to 1,000 people and 1,000 people only, but there's going to be all sorts of magnificence there: sound healing, light healing, all sorts of innovative wellness technologies, great speakers, and it's all around financial wellness. You'll find that super fascinating, Bonnie. And it's all around relationship wellness and, you know, healthy relationships. So we've got a few experts coming to speak then.
I'm also a massage therapist, so that is right up my alley.
Oh my gosh, Bonnie, do you know my story about lithos therapy, about massage?
No.
Are you kidding?
I know you got to go, but I'd love to hear the story.
Okay, I do have to go. Seriously, they're going. Okay, this is the last little bit. If you go to Serafini Mind Spa, right? This is me. Okay. I invented something called lithos therapy. I'm just trying to see where it is. This is lithos therapy. I invented what is now known as hot stone massage 20 plus years ago, and launched it at the International Spa Association's annual conference. I trained people at, say, the Australasian College of Natural Therapies. And let me just show you here, right? So can you see here, lithos therapy? That was actually the brand.
Yes.
I trained people at the Australasian College of Natural Therapies. and in lots of Sedesco schools worldwide. And you wouldn't believe it, but 20 years ago, when I spoke at the International Spa Association's annual conference, I also spoke at many other conferences in the spa industry and the beauty industry at the Sedesco World Congress. But look at this. This is where I'm off to next week. And the reason why I'm off to this place is because this is part of the work that I've got to do in preparation for our Positivity Festival. So
oh my goodness.
This is an invitation-only summit, and it's in Israel, and I'm off next week to go and hang out with all of the other movers and shakers who effectively create the trends like I did. And I'll tell you what the fascinating thing is when I invented lithotherapy, people literally did not believe that this style of treatment that used thermotherapy and cryotherapy, or heated marble sculptures and chilled white sculptures, they literally thought they were being funny when they said, oh, she's got rocks in her head. The reality is that 24 years ago, I basically made this prediction that it would be a treatment that would change the face of the spa industry and the beauty industry. And people literally thought I was crazy. Now it's the most common image used in beauty salons and massage, clinics and retreats and spas and so forth. And I can absolutely promise you, I'm definitely on to the very next biggest thing that's going to totally transform the health and wellness industry. So I've been focusing for the last 10 years on the emotions that we have in our body and the way that our brain actually creates those emotions and what that means for our own physical health, but also our health inside this physical ecosystem that is planet Earth that we live on and the communities that we exist in. And for me, the breakthrough is around, this is going to sound really bizarre, but gamification or rewarding with physical tokens compliant behavior. Because as therapists, you'll know this, Anne, your physiotherapist or your osteopath or your chiropractor will give you an exercise to do. And if you do not faithfully follow through on that activity, your rehabilitation will not succeed in the best way possible.
Right.
Now, the reality is that you might know that intellectually, but human beings have a very interesting aspect to them where they very rarely apply what it is that they know.
Mm-hmm.
And we know from the science that if we reward you with something that's actually a token that could turn into some cash, you're more likely to do the activity because you're earning these fractions of tokens as a reward.
The carrot at the end of the stick.
Correct.
I'm from Hawaii, and we do puhaku, which is hot stone therapy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I actually trained an enormous number of people in Hawaii 20 years ago and created what is now that version of a treatment for the spa industry. It wasn't actually hot stone massage until I made it so.
Awesome.
Yeah. I mean, look, I say to people, I didn't invent the idea of thermotherapy and cryotherapy and manual treatments. The Turkish did with, hot Turkish baths. People used to lie on hot marble slabs and have this manual manipulation. The Romans did it before that. The Indians did it in their Ayurvedic medicine before that, right? We're not the first. I definitely was the first, though, to conceive it as a treatment for a day spa and a beauty salon and so forth. Anyway, so there you go.
Awesome. How fun. Well, I appreciate your time, and thank you again. I really appreciate you. So, Kim, I will do my due diligence here, and I'm going to pop off so you can go. And again, I appreciate your time, both of you.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, bye. Bye.
I appreciate your time too.
Love you. Ciao.
Bye.